Hi, everybody. Good afternoon. Well, actually, good evening if you're tuning in from, if you're watching in from the US in Ohio. Good evening. And in the Philippines, hi, good afternoon, everybody. This is Ruby Schrader in Makati area in the Philippines. Yes, I am finally home after, like almost 2 years and a half, I think, since my last visit here. It's great to be back. It's hot, it's warm, it's humid. We're expecting to have, I think, a chance of rain today. And today I just want to give a little bit of update, like how the travel protocol is. Like how it is nowadays, like coming from the US to the Philippines. Was a little bit stressful when I was planning everything. It's good that I was part of a group before, and I managed to get a lot of information. Now, so now I just wanted to share to my fellow friends, to my fellow Filipino friends, if you're ever thinking to go to the Philippines to visit your family now or in the coming months, these are the things that you needed to do. So I actually thought that it will be very complicated process. To be honest, I was surprised because at the airport, at the NAIA airport, the Ninoy Aquino International Airport, everything is pretty much organized. So that was a big surprise because normally it's not the case. But I think they really planned everything out. So there is quite a few requirements that you need to have. Of course, you need to have the PCR test. It cannot be an antigen or a rapid testing. It needs to be the RT-PCR test. So what happened to me was, I think I scheduled mine with CVS. I think it was Sunday morning. Yes, it was 11 a.m. And then my flight was actually Tuesday afternoon. So I was a little bit worried if the result would actually came right on time. I didn't realize it was cutting really short because you have to adhere to the 72-hour policy. And so it came in at 11. No, actually, so I took the test at 11 a.m. and then it came in at 2 in the morning that Tuesday. So I was very thankful that I have the result, because if you don't have your negative COVID test, you will not be able to board the flight. So apart from that, there is a website which is called the One Health Pass. I will show you the link where you have to go to make sure you have all the QR code. I can show you the form, but I can't really show you the QR code because it will have all the information of mine. So I actually did travel with a folder. Prefer to have it on the phone, like you take a screenshot of all your QR code, confirmation, transaction number, all of that. So you can take a screenshot, and at the same time, it will be good if you can actually print all the paperwork. So in case you lost your phone, or your phone ran out of battery, whatever could happen to your phone, you never know. You still have a backup, because if you don't have this one, you will not be able to board the flight. So if you go to this onehealthpass.com, I'll show you. I'm just going to cover my barcode. This is how it's going to look like. It's very direct to the point. You will just have to register online if you don't have your record yet, but you can only access you should only log in or register to the website at least 3 days before your departure date. I actually tried to log in ahead of time just to make sure, because there's quite a few issues that I read from other Filipinos that they were not able to access the website. I think it's because there were too many travelers trying to access the same website that the system crashed. So they were not able to get a barcode. So as long as you have all your documents print out, then you're good to go. But if you can manage to have the QR code, it's much better and fastest way. So yeah, you will have to register to the One Health Pass, and after that, you will have to you have to book your quarantine hotel first. There is also the list of, I'll show you. This is the list of the this is the website. This is part of the OHP site where you can find all the list of quarantine hotels. So not all the hotels in Manila or in the province or in Cebu, for example, are accredited with DOT. So you cannot actually stay with them. So be careful if you don't want to follow the list. You have to make sure that they're all part of the accredited hotels, so you don't have any issues. So you have to book that quarantine hotel. Of course, you have to book your flights. If you're already thinking of going home next year, I highly suggest that you book your flights way in advance, because the flights are crazy expensive. It's too expensive. So yeah, you have to book your flight. You have to book your quarantine hotel. And then you have to do your RT-PCR test. Once you have all of those, then you will then register to the One Health Pass, because you will need all of those documentations to upload to that website. And then once you've completed all the information that the website is asking you to do, then it will populate your own QR code. If you are traveling with kids, they also need to have a QR code. So every member of your family who is traveling with you needs to have a QR code. Now there are some instances where the flights has been canceled or delayed. Once you're done with the One Health Pass, you would just have to update all the information and then resubmit it again. So from beginning till the end, actually, you know what? When I checked in with Delta, they didn't even ask for any of this documentation. So I was pretty much surprised. The guy was he's just chilling. He was just a happy-go-lucky guy, which is good because I didn't have to stress myself about that. But then he said, your Philippine airline flight is where they're going to check all of your documents. So just make sure that you have it, so you don't have any issues with it. Although with Delta, which is the very first origin of the flight, which is from Detroit to San Francisco, he did ask for the copy of the negative COVID test. So you really need to show your RT-PCR test. Once again, I repeat, it is not an antigen or rapid testing. It needs to be the NAAT testing. So you can find this on CVS. And now with too many people traveling, I think they just don't want to reconfirm that you'll get it between 1 to 2 days, because normally that's the time frame that they allot you to get the result. And now they're saying sometimes it's even 3 to 4 days. So I'm not sure about that. I was just thankful and grateful that I got mine on time, because otherwise it's going to be a heck of a problem. So the flight with Philippine Airlines was actually pretty cool. The aircraft was spacious enough. There's enough legroom. Thank goodness I am short, so I didn't have any difficulty with that. That was a 14-hour and 30 minutes flight from San Francisco to Manila, direct flight. And I'm just happy because I was able to sleep all throughout the flight. So I just watched one movie, I read my book, and next thing you know, we are already in the Philippines. So what happens when you land in Ninoy Aquino International Airport at the Naiya Airport? So they actually break down the lounge area into 3 different parts. I'm trying to remember. And then they'll let you sit. There are Coast Guard who's going to give you some briefing, some updates as to what's supposed to happen next. And then it's very organized. It's very structured. So there is no I don't know how to say it in Tagalog, but yeah, there is no hindi sila nagtutulakan or whatsoever. Everything is organized. Everyone is lined up properly, and then they'll tell you to move to the next part. So they ask for the copy of your COVID test result. They're going to ask for the negative testing again. They ask for the boarding pass. And then again, your QR code, they're going to scan it, verify your information, and then you move to the next stage. And they ask for your hotel stay. What else did they ask for? Let me see my files here. They ask for the hotel. Oh, they also ask if you already have someone who is picking you up at the airport. Please take note that your relatives or your friends are not allowed to actually pick you up from the airport. It's not allowed. So please don't ask them to welcome you when you get to the airport. It's not the same as how it used to be before. When you came out of the airport terminal, that you have all your entire family and your neighbors waiting for you to to give you a warm welcome. This time around, it's not the same. It's not the case. You need to either book a hotel taxi, or if you book with your quarantine hotel, they also organize some sort of bus transportation to pick you up from the airport to your quarantine hotel. So yes, no visitors allowed. So let me check. I was checking what else. And then I timed it that from the time that we actually sat on the lounge to do all these formalities, all this document check, I would say it only took around 55 minutes to get through everything. Once you're done with that, it's already immigration. So there is the officers who will check your passport. But once I reached the front line, I was able to use the arrival gate. I think that's what it's called. The arrival gate, where you use your boarding pass, you scan your boarding pass, and then you scan your passport, and then the gate just opens up, and then they'll take a scan of your face, and then you're done. By the time you get to the baggage claim area, your baggage are already there, so you didn't have to wait any longer. And after that, you're already done through the airport. So yeah, I thought I'll just give you a little bit of a brief as to what can you expect, if you're traveling to the Philippines anytime soon. Now, if you're an overseas Filipino worker, that's another story. I used to be an overseas Filipino workers, but they do have a different, I would say the same requirement. It's just a different arrangement. For example, I know that the government helps them out. They book a hotel for them. Their meals, their transportation are for free. It's not the case when you're a returning resident to the US. I mean, from the US to the Philippines, for example, or from any other country. And then at the airport, they have a separate section. They have a different area. They were waiting in line for something. I really didn't get the chance to talk to any of the Filipino overseas worker when I was there. So I wasn't so sure, like, how long will they have to wait. I just know that when I passed by the baggage collection area, there were quite a handful of them waiting for something to get checked at the counter, probably more documentations or just waiting for their transfer to go to the hotel. But yeah, so like I said, don't get too overwhelmed. I was very overwhelmed because I have to reread everything online. And so I figured there's just another way to simplify this. So basically, I just shared with you in a nutshell, how was it? How was the entire process? What do you need? Rather than to go crazy trying to figure things out. So that's a little bit of a summary of how my travel to the Philippines went. I am currently on my day 3 of my quarantine. So at the moment, with the current regulations here, if you're fully vaccinated, you will have to quarantine for 5 nights, 6 days. They will have to test you again, like a swab test, which requires you to book your swab test on the fifth day, and there is additional fee for that, which is I think 2,500 pesos. So you do the math on how much that would be in dollars. So you book that, and then the people or the detoxicare company will come to your quarantine hotel, and then they'll do your swab test on the fifth day. And then once you have the certification that you have a negative COVID test result, then you can then check out and you're free. Yay! So I am just waiting for my swab test to happen. So I hope I was able to give you a little bit of information as to what to expect if you ever decide to travel to the Philippines. Once again, just a quick recap. If you're already planning to go back home, back to the Philippines, if you already have that in the pipeline, I urge you to book your tickets right away. There are so many airlines. You got Philippine Airlines, ANA, JAL, Japan Airlines. They're pretty good. Korean Air as well, depending on which state you're coming from. But make sure you book your flights in advance. If you ever need help, if you don't know, I do run a travel business in the US, which I can also work from here, which is perfect. I can help you book your flights, and I do have a supplier that's pretty much a flight consolidator. If you ever just curious as to what would be my pricing, depending on your date of travel and stuff like that. And on my case, when I booked my flight, I did book through my supplier, which is good, and I was able to save at least $200 compared to the pricing that I have with Orbit. So that's a good thing. It doesn't happen all the time. I don't really fight so much with the airline pricing because that's it's a little bit complicated. They're very what's the right term that I'm looking for? They don't really give you much of a discount either ways. So I'm lucky if I found a better deal, although I did manage to help quite a few clients before and help them get a good deal. So that's with the flights. Then you need to do your COVID RT-PCR test. Once again, you can find that using CVS, Walgreens. Some people, they even go through urgent care. If you want to make sure, some people, they went crazy. They went to all of different testing centers. So they have 3 different results because, the time frame of them giving out the result to the travelers are different. So just to make sure that you have those kind of backup. And then you need to find a hotel that you need to quarantine to for 5 days or 7 days, depending if you're vaccinated or not. And then after that, you have to go and do the One Health Pass registration. So you'll find pretty much everything there. Online, you just have to follow the instructions. It's very, very direct to the point. Like I said, if you do have any questions, feel free to message me or share this video to any of your friends who are wanting to travel to the Philippines anytime soon. Hopefully, there is not much changes with the regulations with the travel protocol, but don't take my word for that. The government, they're a bit crazy. Sometimes they change the regulations within 48 hours. So you really have to be up to date with everything just to make sure that you don't miss out on complaints at all. And hopefully you have the same experience like I did. So to be honest, I was a little bit surprised that everything went well like that. So yeah, I think I'm still here. I am able to work my business from here. So if you do have any travel arrangement plans for 2022, please remember me and feel free to message me anytime. There's just a time difference, like I said, but I will get back to you. So if you do have any questions about our topic for today, which is about traveling to Manila from the US during this tough times, don't hesitate. Everything is fine. You will be fine as long as you follow each and every requirements and documentations that you need. Okay, sounds great. All right, so once again, it's Ruby Schrader. God bless, guys. Take care, and I will see you soon. And remember, make your life a masterpiece. Ciao.